Hot take, but I feel like a lot of high performing people or highly functional people, especially women, have this idea that they can't really take action or move until they have it all figured out, until they fully understand everything. I know because I'm one of them. Well, I'm Sarah. I'm a nurse, I'm a health coach, and I'm someone who's deeply trying to figure out how to show up online in a way that feels real, a way that feels authentic and not performative. This morning, I was journaling about this and I was reflecting on the fact that I feel this constant tension between structure and flow. Like, I want to plan from A to Z, 10 steps, like, I want it all, but at the same time, I want this level of creativity, experimentation, this level of freedom that allows me to just flow in the wind. Now, when you have both of these extremes, it can be super frustrating because actually, in sitting with that this morning, I realized I've spent a lot of my time trying to avoid that discomfort and limit that level of uncertainty. You know, the books, the frameworks, the coaching, the programs, if it's out there, I've done it. It's not because I wasn't capable of showing up and creating something meaningful. It was more about the fact that uncertainty just feels really uncomfortable in my body. Yeah. As a woman, as a first generation Canadian, third culture kid, as I like to call myself, a lot of my life was rooted in having this level of certainty, and safety a lot of the time equated to certainty. So today I want to go through some of the questions I asked myself this morning as I was reflecting on this. Question number one, it's why do I struggle with not knowing what's coming next? And this is a really interesting one because as a nurse, as a woman who's in a professional setting, I feel a lot of what I'm asked to do is to create a level of structure, to assess, to anticipate, to plan, to organize, and to create a sense of nurture and safety for people. So having a level of safety is usually what's expected of me. And because I've coached women who are very independent, who are very intelligent, I've worked with many of them. What I've realized is a lot of them are hyper fixated on creating a level of certainty because uncertainty feels irresponsible, especially when you're working in creative domains. And sometimes we don't even think about content as a creative domain. Sometimes you just need to take action and move rather than having the certainty of a plan that you can execute fully. What happens when my next chapter can't be logically mapped out? And this is like the crux of it, guys. Let me tell you. Basically, I knew I wanted to work in coaching because I loved doing it. I loved working with women. I loved working with women who were burnt out. I loved holistic medicine and lifestyle medicine and focusing on the pillars of how to help people optimize their life to live a better and stronger life without only relying on medicine. There's so many things we can do on our own. But with that being said, I also started to realize that people who were coming to me were not really looking to optimize their health in that way and their life in that way. The more I did that one-on-one, I really want to do that as my job. I don't want that to be my creative venture. This is why I'm just documenting. I'm documenting as I'm creating this journey. I kept trying to fit myself in a box before I allowed the becoming of who I am. A lot of us rush to define ourselves before we've actually figured out what we want to do or how we want to do it. And giving yourself that time to explore and experiment and try different things and fail. You know how many times I failed? I've failed many times. Okay, question number 3. Why do I keep searching for clarity outside myself? Woo, child, this one was a tough one. And once I allowed myself to ground into who I'm becoming and do the things that actually fill my cup, the things that make me the main character, like journaling and meditating. And I know those things are not for everybody, but for me, that is what fills my cup. When I started doing those things, I had a realization that I'm not actually looking for more information. I was looking for emotional safety. And those are two very, very different things. So for question number 4, I'm like, what if clarity comes from movement? And I realized a lot of the times the things that changed my life the most was when I stopped searching for guarantees. I don't know if you've ever heard of the book The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer. Love him, by the way. I will attach a picture of the book. But listening to his book taught me so much about surrendering and the power of feminine energy and the power of allowing things to unfold. And a lot of great things have happened, especially for me in relationships, when I let go of what it's supposed to be and just allow it to flow. Not in a last lecture. I said that really weird. Lecture? I can't say that word. Last lecture? Nope, not going to say it. Not in that kind of way, but in an intentional way of just saying, like, I don't know what's happening here. I feel really uncomfortable about this. But rather than react, I'm going to regulate my nervous system by holding space for this discomfort. But I'm just learning to move from a place of trusting myself, a place of sitting with discomfort and uncertainty, and recognizing that if I allow myself to see that discomfort instead of push it down, I'm unlocking a new level. One thing I took away from this is that information cannot take away the discomfort that comes with becoming someone new. So I can take in all that information, but if I'm not able to sit with that unease of not knowing and being in that awkward space, I'm not going to ever pass through it. Maybe this whole journey about showing up online isn't about creating the right content or becoming super articulate. Maybe it's about learning how to show up for myself and trusting myself as I go through this journey of becoming who I am. I don't fully know how this comes together. I don't fully know how the pieces will fall. I don't fully know what my content will be. I think for the first time, I'm really allowing myself to move before everything feels right or perfect. And for me, that's growth. No certainty, no perfection, no 5-year plan, just staying connected to myself while I figure it out. So yeah, here's to day number 2, and check out the reflection questions below if they interest you. I will see you on day 3.